right, another episode, RSL Random Fan Podcast. I'm your host, Brian Goebel, joined by Tyler Thomas and Brennan. Right?
That's
You're there?
right.
Correct.
Brennan the Ninja. I mean, how does
Brennan
that
and
go?
Ninja.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So much happened this week, Brant, in the world of soccer, in the world of experiencing soccer. And I really need to get you guys' takes on this. And of course, there was a Real game in there as well. I
Kinda.
I mean, it was so painful that I don't. It's okay if we don't spend a ton of time on it, but did you guys see Copa America?
Yeah. I was watching that and it was like very disappointing.
Yeah,
Very
were
disappointing
you at the
stuff.
gates then when they like pushed through and broke down some gates or were you
I think
over in
you
the vents when they started climbing up and into the
Absolutely.
vents?
That's been my
Is that
dream.
where you were? Okay.
My dream to I don't know if it's Die Hard or um what's the other one? Not Jason Bourne, Tom Cruise.
Yeah, Tom Cruise, Jason
Mission
Bourne, all those
Impossible.
guys.
Mission Impossible, where
Yeah.
where you go through the ducks. That's just not real. I guess it is real life now, but
I
uh,
guess it happened at Copa America. There were 15 Colombians I saw crawl into a tiny space and break into the Hard Rock Stadium. And I was like, what is happening? Why? Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
shame on CONMEBOL. The United States USSF and American soccer didn't really have anything to do with that.
No,
They
it
actually
didn't.
had a plan because the Hard Rock is going to host some of the World Cup matches, like a
Yep.
semi or a quarterfinal. And they
Hmm.
have a plan laid out that pushes the perimeter out because they had a plan. Doesn't look like almost they look like they didn't really care. They just wanted to I don't know, undermine, who knows, conspiracy theories all around. But it was just a bad look for the game and hopefully doesn't shine too bad a light on American American soccer because they really weren't the ones in charge. It was CONMEBOL. And from what I've read, CONMEBOL is notorious for being cheap and skimping on safety and stuff.
Darn. What a terrible name, though. Like, you can't, I don't even understand. What is it from? Is there like a meaning to it?
CONMEBOL, yeah, it's an
Con.
acronym for something, just like CONCACAF is an acronym for some confederation of Central American, some who knows. I guess we could look it up, but it's better just to guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
That's how we roll.
that's
Random
what
fans unite.
just randomly guessing. What do you think
Sorry,
it stands
I know
for?
what it means, but I was on mute. So, but no. It's like CONCACAF. It's like everybody's thing smashed together. Anyway, no, it's really sad. Like we shouldn't have that in our country. We shouldn't have people breaking into stadiums. But England showed the way, and we're trying to be more like England. So, hey, let's storm the stadium and get
And
in and see our
poke a few people with
heroes. And
knives. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, and yeah, if you went and watched some of that like footage and stuff, there's people breaking down gates, there's people shoving each other and knocking each other over, and man, no reason for that. And then after the game, after Colombia just, gave it their all, so close, really amazing game. Then the head of the federation gets like arrested for
Oh, yeah.
shoving people over. Like, what is happening? Everyone's just losing their minds, guys. We need to take Biden's advice, and I am not political, but Biden said the other night, we need to all calm down. Was that Taylor Swift? You got to
Both. I think there
Might
was
have
a
been Taylor
joint
Swift.
press
Yeah,
conference.
okay.
They had a joint
Yeah,
Yeah.
press
and Taylor
conference.
Swift was like, let's all calm down.
Let's just shake it off, guys. Shake it
And then
off.
Take
we'll
it off.
shake it off and we need to quit doing this to each other. Not
Yeah.
okay. Let's quit it. But still be passionate fans, right? We can be passionate fans without breaking down barriers or attacking people after the game or, you know, stuff like that, right? Can't we? Isn't there a
Yeah,
better way?
there should be. That is a great. You brought up England. There is a great documentary that kind of talks about the Euro final the previous one at Wembley and the struggles they had when it's not a race thing. I mean, there was plenty of English fans who were storming the gates that didn't have tickets and were just trying to get in. And some fans, that's what they like to do. They want to see the game, and it's they think it's fun to sneak in, but same time it just undermines the experience for everyone.
Yeah, in fact, Stu Holden was there. Him and Ian Dark were there, and they they rushed into the booth that they were broadcasting in, and some dude just sat down by him during the broadcast. He's like, I thought I was gonna die. I was like,
Oh, I did not
how?
know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He told the whole story about it, so you can check that out. It's a crazy one. So
I have to admit I didn't watch the whole game. I did watch the first half, and it just wasn't fun soccer for me to watch. I thought the
Well,
game
what
very
was
wasn't fun about it?
intense. Yeah. What did
incredibly
you like?
physical. I thought the ref kind of let the game get, I don't know, borderline out of hand. It was just really
That was
uh,
the whole series, though. The whole series was that way, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, for
so what's the
sure.
difference in the final? I mean,
That's what I
everybody's
thought.
saying this is like one of the best finals in forever.
It was very
But
physical and very tough back and forth. And I'm so glad that it was a like real good goal. In fact, in about right like when overtime when Lautaro went in, I don't even know how to say that guy's name.
Lutardo.
Lautaro. Anyway, Martinez,
La biblioteca.
that guy who plays at
¿Dónde
Inter
está?
Milan, right? Like that guy's good, dude. And when he came in late, I was like, man, how would it be as a country to bring that guy off the bench? Like he would start every US game ever. Anyway, uh he came in and as soon as he got on the field, I'm like, that dude's gonna score. Like I know Alvarez is good and he plays at City, but like, nah, dude. Martinez is gonna win this thing. And he had his first chance, and I was like, oh, I thought that was it. And then, like 3 minutes later, he got the game winner, and it was a pretty awesome goal, pretty legit. And it, Copa America was probably a little too much, right? Like pretty intense. And then England lost a final too, Brant. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, well, let's get back to the RSL played Portland. You want to start with the starting lineup there? We'll come back to the Euros.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
let's come back.
All
Okay,
right.
so
Even though it's painful,
yeah,
we
for an
did
England.
we did play Portland.
So the starting lineup was Zach McMath in goal. Then we had Catran as Vera, Hidalgo, and Brody, Ojeda and Nelly, Luna, Crooks, Gomez, and Durango. And on the bench, Beavers, Oviedo, Quinton, Dude Silva, Michael Ching, Caliscan, Palacio, Julio, and new guy, Matthew Bell, made an appearance
Yeah,
in the
he even
start
subbed
on
in,
the
right?
bench.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Mateo.
RSL,
No, I was just gonna change his name to Spanish, but let's not do that.
oh,
Carry on.
what is Bell in Spanish? Is it Bell?
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure I can look it up, but I don't know it off the top of my head.
Said the guy who speaks Spanish.
Ringo.
Well, it's kind of like
Ringo.
Santiago Moreno is just James Brown when you translate it. It sounds way better in Spanish though, right? Santiago Moreno. And they have four or five guys like that, like Diego Chara in
Ah,
English. Translate that, it's
Oh,
I'll
okay.
kick
Hold
you
on.
in the
Pause.
shins, right?
Pause.
That's what
Time
it
out. Time out.
translates to.
What was the announcer saying? He was not
Chara.
saying Chara or something like that. Every time he said his
Chara.
name, I was getting so annoyed. I was like, it's not Chara or Chara. It's Chara,
Well,
right?
it's
I mean,
supposed to be Chara. He put the accent on his name at the end, and it is that now on like if you look him up anywhere, it's
but it's
Chara. But
so
I think
he
when he
changed
first
it.
got here, he was like, I don't care, just say my name. I'm just glad to be in the game. So, but
So
now
yeah,
yeah.
RSL went up to America's armpit. I was trying Portland, Oregon,
Yeah.
America's armpit.
Liberals paradise.
What a dump! There couldn't more fitting. There couldn't be a better team to
There's pro
play. in America's armpit than the Portland Timbers.
And what a crap field, man. Like
Oh
they
my
just
God.
struggle so bad, so bad.
I cannot stand that team.
Field
I
is
didn't
nasty.
I
Yeah.
did not have the opportunity to watch the game live because I had an event and they asked me to go and use use my Blackstone, grill up some food. I am there. You want me to grill something up? I am there. So I was
This episode is brought to you by Blackstone. Are you a
Blackstone.
Costco fan? Oh
Yeah.
yeah. No, just kidding. Oh,
So
where
yeah,
did it
I
go? All right,
just
whatever.
cannot stand Portland.
So
Uh,
what is it exactly? Because I mean, it seems like the way that they were playing that game, there was some animosity there. There was some uncomfortable situations that they really just were not happy. Um,
I don't like the style of play that Portland does, and I think it's kind of like in other sports where teams force the refs to make calls. They know it's kind of like the Peter Vermees, or you can see it in basketball where a team is noted for being a defensive team. So they play rougher, and because they always play rougher, they just get the benefit of the doubt. So you force the refs to call more fouls, and if you continue to play that way, the ref isn't going to give you two yellows, even if you deserve two yellows in the first half. So that's what I don't like, and the fact that those are the type of teams, Seattle comes to mind, where they never foul. They've never committed a foul. Diego Peron is six yellow cards away from uh, breaking
Oh,
Kyle Beckerman's record, and yet he has never committed a foul in his entire MLS career.
yeah,
Never.
that's annoying. And the other thing that was super annoying was when he earned a yellow for getting there late and sticking a leg in. That's earning a yellow in my book. In fact, Crooks earned two or three before he got his actual yellow, you know.
yeah.
So I guess it evens out over time, but he doesn't complain to Joe Dickerson. And Joe Dickerson's kind of the guy that's like, you mouth off to me and I'm gonna be a lot quicker with the cards. And so he got quick with the cards on Portland. It didn't end up helping us at all, but he tried. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I just really despise the way they play. I mean, I get having some gamesmanship. I mean, you can church ball it, and there are ways to affect the game, but when it's seems to be your entire modus operandi, it just drives me nuts. I'd rather see a little more clean, your MO, how
Can
you
we
play.
backtrack here? Let's
Yeah.
backtrack here.
Backtrack it up.
Motus, what is that? What did you say that
Modus
you said?
operandi.
Okay, modus operandi.
Well,
That's
Brant's
gonna
time in
lose
the
some
military,
listeners.
the
Yeah.
Brant's time in the military, he's got to speak like he's been in the
Do you,
military since he
do you know
No,
what he
it's
joined
just
does?
them.
I
Oh, you
bet
it's
you
just
weren't
for
in the
your
Father's
military?
MO.
Day. No, no, no. You got one of those little thesaurus calendars where you pick up every word a day, you just like rip it off, and you're
That's
like
so
modus
perfunctual.
operandi. Yeah, next one, presumptuous.
I want to
That's so funny.
apologize for reading books.
And being educated. Oh, he's so
I wouldn't go that far.
upsetting
I've read
because
a
you're
bunch of books.
so educated.
I would not go the education route, but I
What
did
about
Well,
the
read.
hey, it's
vernacular
mainly
route?
fiction. You know what I mean? He's more into Game of Thrones and Harry
No,
Potter
no,
and stuff.
Sounds right.
no. It was
But then
more.
Jonathan Rodriguez mouthed off and got himself a yellow card right after that. So that was
Oh
exciting.
yeah.
So, what did you
But
think of
then,
RSL's performance? Well, I've been concerned that the one thing that's going to slow the team down is fatigue and injuries. And did the team look like they were just a half a step off, or they just didn't adjust to the pressure that Portland put on? Because the first goal is kind of embarrassing. Wouldn't you say is you just kind of
well, so I mean, if
was
we're rewinding that back, let's rewind it back. We get the ball, they get the ball out wide, and they're coming down the side, and they get by um Catranas, and Vera steps out wide to cover and close down space. And it was Mora, right? No,
Uh,
Mora scored the goal.
was
Yeah, it
it
was
Vander?
Moreno, Santiago Moreno. And he's got quick feet. Skinny dude, so if you can get a body on him, he's not that effective, but he's super quick-footed, and he turned and Vera just fell on his butt, really. Like he didn't even bump him. Like I think Vera thought he was gonna push him with his hips, and he did not do that thing, and he fell right on his booty, and Moreno walked right around him. And there's two problems there. Number one is that Vera should have, bodied him up. Number two is that Katrana should have come back to the middle to cover, and he was nowhere to be found. So
And number three, Anelli. Anelli didn't inject himself into that play at all because he was
yeah,
just
either one of the pivots who were on that side could have also been sliding over to cover that
because
as well.
Anelli lets him get the shot off, the pass off, and didn't put any pressure on him once he gets around.
And then Bode Hidalgo isn't touch tight. He's, 2 arm lengths away. And Felipe just sneaks in and gets there before him because he reacted first. And, there's the inexperience of our fifth center back coming to play, which again doesn't always matter because he played a relatively pretty good game for, the amount of pressure and shots and everything that came his way. Definitely you wouldn't look at this game and say, Bodie messed it up for us, right? Like that's not.
No, there's lots of blame to go around. I thought in Anelli has really struggled of late.
Yeah.
What?
He's
Oh
he's
my
had a little bit
gosh.
of a rough
Eh,
game, but just because of how we saw him at the first of the year, he was here. You know what I mean? We kind of put him up on this pedestal, and now he's kind of come down a little bit into normal player area space. I still think he deserves to start, but I think like Brennan said, Palacio might get a game or two here.
I strongly disagree. I think the fact that his mess ups, his technical mess ups, has led to a goal, has made you guys start to think that Anelli is slipping. When in all reality, every team is going to get opportunities to score. Every
Yeah.
single one. Somebody's going to mess up, no matter what game it is. Someone's going to mess up. Justin Glad's going to mess up. Vera's going to mess up. Chicho's going to mess up more than ways than one, I guess. But overall, I think you're just looking at it because they scored off of his essentially mess up, but it's not really his mess up. Yeah, he
No,
could
not
have
really.
been there, but it's not necessarily his role. And Nelly's doing
Right.
a fantabulous job in his position and also defensively. He's the guy hustling, he's in positions beyond what he's supposed to be doing. I just don't I think Anelli is not the issue or a cause of that loss. And I don't think his level of play has dropped. I think you're just seeing a scenario where he could have done something and something bad happened out of it. So I don't
I,
agree with that at all.
I
Maybe.
would, yeah, my concern is just watching him on that play. He doesn't commit to, he just kind of floats in the play and doesn't commit. So I see a little bit
Which is
of
that position.
Well,
lack of
we
lack
can
of
flip the coin on the
confidence.
other side too. I mean, we could say the offense sucked because Gomez didn't put up enough effort. I
Oh,
mean,
we're
the
not
last
to
game he
Gomez
was
yet. We'll get to
oh, dude,
Gomez. I got a lot to
last
say
game
there.
Gomez was tired. He was battered. He didn't have any idea. And now in this game, he still didn't have an identity. He was still trying to create something out of nothing. He wasn't getting himself into a new position or trying to adapt to what was given. He's playing specifically what he wants, and it didn't work that game. And we didn't have any offense. But
Well,
I
yeah,
think
we're not.
what's
We're. I mean,
in
I
the
think
first of the
Gomez is
game,
slipping.
oh yeah, Gomez at the first of the game, he was getting by that outside back, Bravo. He was getting by him left and right. He was just poking him, and then he was diving
Boom.
in, and I was like, dude, he's gonna get a red card because he keeps going diving in, and he's gonna leave his leg out here and we're going to see him. Bravo's going to be off by halftime, right? So I'm thinking, hey, this is a good thing. But here's the thing, once he got by Bravo, he really never did anything with it after that. he did not have good passing. And even when it was him and Chicho on the keeper, he played it across and let the center back recover. So yeah, rough game for him decision making wise. I think he played okay, but his decision making was poor at best.
And that's just going back to my point about fatigue. I think that the team has played at a high level for a long time, and physically and mentally, they're at a point in the mid-season, the dog days of summer, where things get tough and it's going to be challenging for a little bit. We've got a game on Wednesday, got a game on Saturday, and then fortunately, we've got a little bit of a break. So, and before we get to League's Cup in August 1st, and if we continue to play how we're playing right now, maybe we play 2 games and then we get more time off and we can prepare for a final push to through the playoffs and to the MLS Cup. So
Well,
I just I
and that
just
kind
really
of
think the
leaves.
team could use a little bit of a break, and I think the fatigue is just caught up to him in the middle of summer, like it does every season in Major League Soccer.
Well, it kind of had some telling moments there in the 23rd minute, right? Where there was a little bit of a scuffle. Chicho kind of broke out. He kind of pulled on Evander. He got the ball and he kind of made a foul so that he could make a point to the ref. And then Evander kind of gave him one of these, with the shimmy and the shake and the head nod, mouthing off to him. And Chicho was like, "I'm not taking this." So he kind of leaned into him with a shoulder butt, but it was only from a short distance. So he earned himself a good solid yellow card for that. And then Felipe Mora came in and got him a yellow card. And then I didn't see what happened that Andres got his yellow card in that moment, the
Well,
fracas, because Apple does this really dumb thing of zooming in on people when the play is stopped, right? Like when a scrum starts to happen, Apple, zoom out so we can start to see everything that's going on. And we can pick, our eyes can pick where there's action. Don't zoom in on one dude when people are starting to push each other, zoom out and let us see the whole thing of what's going on, right? That
yeah, and Mora came in and smacked. He kind of punched Gomez on the arm, came in through his arm like that,
Oh,
and
did
that's
he?
what pissed off Gomez. So I thought the first time I saw it, I was like, man, he punched him. He threw a punch, but it was
It
more
was
of a
just a baby, like,
uh, a sideways,
eh.
but
It was a soccer punch.
Oh,
soccer
okay,
punch.
yeah.
Yeah, there was,
Or a
hand
basketball punch.
everywhere.
Have you seen the basketball punches too? They just swing all wild, like they're like Bart and Lisa Simpson, They're just like,
Yeah, I just remembered when the name will come to me when we're done, but there was a basketball player whose career ended
oh
because
yeah,
another player came in and
Rudy Tomjanovich.
yeah, I think so. Yeah,
He got
a
clotheslined.
player came in a fight and just tagged him
Yep,
right on the side of
cheap
his head.
shot at him. Yeah,
And his
yeah. He
career
was
was
a
over.
pretty good coach though.
Yeah.
Maybe it
So,
helped his coaching career.
uh-huh.
But there was that little fracas, and after that, we kind of stopped playing well.
Yeah, and because of that too, we can report that RSL players fined the MLS disciplinary committee. This is from MLS.com, has found MLSsoccer.com Real Salt Lake in violation of the mass confrontation policy in the 22nd minute, of which we were just speaking of, their match against the Portland Timbers it says right here, in the armpit of America, Portland, Oregon.
Oh,
Salt Lake
wow, right
have
there.
violated the policy for the second time this season, and both head coach Pablo Mastroeni and the club have been fined undisclosed amounts. Due to their roles in the mass confrontation, defender Alexandros Catranis, midfielder Andres Gomez, and forward Christian Orongo, who just wants to be in the news all week, will be issued undisclosed fines for inciting and or escalating a mass confrontation. And I think if
Inciting or escalating a mass confrontation.
Yep.
Interesting. And
We'll
they
try to bring people
Portland didn't
together,
get
man.
one.
I'll
Portland
read
didn't
it.
get
Bring
one
them
for the
together.
7th minute
The MLS
breakist thing.
disciplinary committee has found the Portland Timbers in the armpit of America violation of the mass confrontation policy in the 7th and 22nd minutes of their match.
Oh, they had
Against,
2? Okay.
yeah,
All
against
right.
Real Salt Lake.
Okay, that's
And
fair. All right.
Portland have violated the policy for the first time this season, and an
And
official
second.
warning has been issued to head coach of the
Ooh,
club. And these
official
players,
warning.
yeah, official. I think it comes like in a certificate, and it's all pretty and it's like stamped. The
Yeah.
due to
They
their
like
roles in the
serve
match.
it to you. You've been served, sucker! And they run away.
Yeah, you've graduated to fine. Defenders Claudio Bravo, Miguel Arujo, Dario Zaparic, how do you say his name? Juan
Zaparic.
Mascara, midfielders Evander and Eric Williamson, and a forward Felipe Moore. Essentially, the
Wow.
entire damn team will
Half
be
the
issued
squad.
undisclosed fines for inciting and or escalating a mass confrontation and hitting RSL players with a purse.
With a very soft hit.
It was
Yeah, I
well,
didn't see
it
anything that
had,
was like red card worthy,
rhinestones
but
on it and stuff, so that's why it's dangerous when you're flipping
also like Joe
around.
Dickerson did all right. He did all right at you know pushing everybody back and getting them to calm down. And
I think he actually did a fantastic job in this game. Really, I was saying that to, well, obviously my son, because my wife's not here. I was like, dude, this ref's actually not bad, and I was like, you don't even know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I was thinking Joe Dickerson. I mean, he was a little emotional, but it was the right type of emotional. It was those ones where it was like, okay, if you want to play this game, I can play this game, and we can, like throwing out that yellow card to homeboy after the foul with
Hernandez,
Chicho
yeah,
Hernandez. Yeah, it was like, okay, that's the ref I want. I want somebody who's gonna stand up for himself and let him have it. But it was a very, very poor professionalized game. I think a lot of the kids, or I was gonna say adults, but they acted like kids in that game. I think a lot of the kids really just needed a nap or something like that, and they were just a little ornery. And I don't ever want to see a game like this again. This
yeah.
one is
It
that
it
one was so hard to watch.
really doesn't suit us. We don't want to get in a grind out, knock them over match unless Silva's in. You know what I mean? And
Well,
then
that's why we
if
got rid of Everton. You know what I mean? If
right,
Everton's
because
gone, we
he was
have to
just
be professional.
right. We can't just run around and kick people. That style of Kyle Beckerman, may he rest in peace from an RSL standpoint. He's not dead, kids. He's still alive, but he doesn't play for us anymore. But no, he's and then like we can't just run around and kick people. But Brian Ojeda did that in the 37th minute and got himself a yellow card, which was pretty obvious at that point. And we went into halftime 1-0 and kind of looked around like that half sucked, right?
Yeah,
I was
I
I was I
really
was praying
surprised.
for a Mastroeni pep talk that was going to change the tide, and
Yeah,
it
he was
just
wearing a shirt looked just like this, the black with the sleeves and the yeah. And then he was like, "All right, guys." I don't know. I have no idea what he did.
Well, I was really surprised that when I saw the starting lineup, to be honest.
Yeah,
I
why is that?
I thought the with 3 games in the week, and I uh, I thought perhaps Anderson Julio might get the start. It's on artificial turf. Give Chicho a break. Um, I guess little did we know that he gets a nice little break now. But I thought that given some of the players maybe rotating, I would have started Beavers. Um, I'm gonna guess Wednesday we're probably gonna see Beavers, but I would have flipped it. I would have given Beavers the Portland game and not the LAFC game. It all changes now because of the suspension. Gomez isn't going to start, so who knows what's going to happen on Wednesday. Arongo, do we want to talk about Chicho Arongo?
Well, it
And
is halftime, so you can bring up other subjects as soon as you give away your orange slice.
I will give my orange slice in the first half, Brian Ojeda. I think he's the unsung
Ooh.
hero of the RSL team at the moment. And he's a player you need those two players, Anelli and Ojeda, to really pick it up and dominate the midfield, especially when the top up above them, the players above them aren't finding the back of the net and they're struggling. So they got to be the glue that holds the team together and maybe take the game on their back and help the defense and help the offense. So I'll give mine to Ojeda.
How about you, Brennan?
Um, I'm gonna give mine to Matthew Bell. Um, he did what every draftee has ever done when coming into their first RSL game, and he went in there. He touched the ball. Um, he
And
didn't
kicked
want to
it.
impress anybody. He
No.
didn't want to try anything.
Just be solid. Don't do
Just
anything to mess up.
just be solid. Kill the game.
Wait, what? We were
So
losing. Just kill the game anyway.
just
Kill
kill
it
the game.
anyway.
So
Kill it.
it was
Just
see.
kill it. Kill
Take
the
it to the
game.
corner. Take it to the
I'm
corner.
I'm so perturbed. Okay, I'm perturbed. All right, you're minestrone, right? You're in a uncomfortable situation. You're losing all that mumbo jumbo.
You're making
Put in a
soup.
goal score. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't concede the loss. Who cares if we lose 4-0 compared to 3-0? Who cares?
Me,
But if
because
we
I love goal differential, but nobody else cares.
right. But if we go in there and we put in somebody that can change things, we have Gozo who's he's going to the US team now, the under 20s. And we have all these things that we could do and we could try it out. We could just try it out. He throws in Matthew Bell, which is great to Matthew Bell. Great job. You're on the RSL team, no longer with the Monarchs for right now. But really, I hate it. I hate it. Every time somebody new comes on, it's just like he's not going to do anything. He's just going to possess the ball, negative pass,
Well,
reset.
and to be fair, the unused subs were Noel Caliskin, Tommy Silva, also known
Dude.
as Dude Silva, and Philip
Dude,
Quinton,
you're loud. Just kidding.
and
Sorry.
and then Gavin Beavers. So those are all defensive players.
We'll put in Beavers,
So
get him up top.
the guys that were there, I mean, he threw them in to give him a shot, and didn't work out. But I'm gonna give my orange slice to Senor Matt Crooks, and not just because somebody else has his name and tried to kill the president with it, but because it was very obvious that it wasn't him. He was in Portland, Oregon. That never happened. And former
But was
president,
he? But
whatever.
was he?
I know, right? But no, he was still there at the end of the night, so I think we're good. And probably too soon. I know, I heard it. I'm so sorry. But
Yeah.
his
Little bit.
name, Crooksy. Crooksy did I thought he did well. He completed a lot of his passes. He didn't give the ball away crappily. I don't know what it is about us playing on that Portland turf, but we just love to kick it to the other team. Is it because their uniforms are like camouflage that we think they look like the field? Because the turf doesn't even look like grass, and then their uniforms do look like grass. Like, it's confusing. I think we just need to have, you know, a good talk before the game about what is grass and what is not grass. Okay, fine. That's just dumb. But Crooksy did well. He completed a lot of passes. He
Are you
tried to
okay, Heather?
string the team together, and it just didn't end up working out. But I thought he led by a good example.
Yeah.
And
So,
that is that for our orange slices.
well, let's talk about. I'll read. This is on ESPN.com, and it says Real Salt Lake star forward Christian Chicho Arango was suspended Monday for 4 matches for violating the MLS anti-harassment policy. Neither MLS nor Real Salt Lake divulged what led to the disciplinary action. The club has fully cooperated with Major League Soccer's investigation and accepts the disciplinary decision. Real Salt Lake said in a statement, Arango leads MLS with 17 goals, which ties the RSL single season record set by Alvaro Saborio in 2012. He will miss regular season road matches against LAFC on Wednesday and the Colorado Rapids on Saturday, the MLS
And
All-Star game, which
the
is
All-Star game,
and,
which is a
and,
nice honor we haven't had for a long time.
and the RSL's Leagues Cup's home match against Atlas on August 1st. So,
And to be clear, if anybody isn't sure, what is this violation of rules? Well, the MLS has a behavior policy, and this is what he broke. It's something along the lines of this: behavior that is unruly, disruptive, threatening, or violent in nature, including verbal or physical harassment of match officials, players, staff, or fans. So it's kind of making me think that it was something along the lines of your friend, Brent, your old friend from the Bronx, right? The old
Petke,
RSL coach that, yeah, he kind of Petkeyed somebody, it sounds like. He Petkeyed them into a corner and then he Petkeyed them with his finger and whatever happened, I don't know. And you
well,
won't know, and unless there's footage of it somewhere, the world may never know.
we reached out to
About
folks
10 people. We've reached out to a bunch of people about this, but
in the
We
RSL.
scoured the world.
We
we
did.
scoured the Twitterverse and the Instaverse, and Brennan
Well,
even looked on Facebook for a few seconds.
well,
If I had a Facebook, I would.
we reached out. I reached out to a couple people in the front office that we know, and I was just curious if it was something let's see, was it
Was
related to a
something
one-time
violent?
game incident? Was it ongoing behavior or off the field behavior? That's because the way they didn't say anything about it led me to wonder. And since they aren't going to say anything, all we can do is, we can speculate.
Speculate. Yeah, let's do
Yeah,
it.
have some fun.
I think he got mad after the game and had a tussle in the hallway with the guy that lays out the uniforms. That guy sucks in Portland.
Well,
Whoever that is.
I wonder if it's really distasteful or insensitive.
Uh,
Remember Matt Miazga from Cincinnati last year
yeah,
when running
Oh,
into
yeah.
the refs room and
and
uh,
confronted him, and
confronted
yeah.
the officials. So the way that they are really being mum about this, I wonder if it's something that preceded this game and it's something that was happening somewhere else. But regardless, we'll probably never know. So I hope it's not anything like that. I hope it's just him saying stuff on the field in the heat of the moment and not
Well,
something
it's a little
more.
easier in the heat of the moment to forgive, but after the game, like I get it, you're ticked, but game's over, move on, right? Like you're a professional athlete. Most professional athletes are in the habit of the game's over, let's move on. But you never know, right? People run into each other in the underground of the stadium after, and maybe they got something important they feel like they need to say, and you know, one thing leads to another, and pretty soon we have a four game. And there was no one else mentioned, right? It wasn't like Chicho and Zubaric or whoever, right? Like it was just him. So I don't know.
And it says there's an investigation, and this came out pretty quick. So, yeah, hopefully it's
Well,
something
and
that
and
is
RSL
just
just
done.
agreed with it. They were like, "All right, fine, that's fine. Four games, whatever." So it must have been something pretty serious if they just kind of backed down and said, "Okay, fine."
Yeah, yeah. So, but when we reached out, they just said no response, which is probably what they're telling everybody. So at some point it'll come out years from now on another podcast where they
Well,
investigate MLS
yeah.
disciplinary actions of your.
We'll get Chicho on the podcast 4 years after he's not played for Real Salt Lake, and he'll let
Right.
it rip.
Yeah. So and it's interesting that he misses the All-Star game. So that It might be something that's really embarrassing, and they
Yeah.
would hate for it to come out, and it's like, you know what? Can't represent Major League Soccer at the game, which is good. You know, he needs a break. So maybe it's a big plan. He wanted a break, and he's just like,
I don't know.
if you're not gonna give me a break, Pablo, I'm gonna make my own.
I don't love the whole break thing. When you're playing well, you don't want to break. You know what I mean? Like you watch Columbus take apart LAFC. Columbus doesn't need a break, and they were in the Champions League and Champions League final, and you know what I mean? Why are they all of a sudden surging and we need a break? I don't buy into the whole we need a break thing.
Were you ever in the MLS league? Like, was
Almost,
it almost?
almost, Tyler,
I was just
almost.
wondering. I was like, because I don't
Me,
know if we know
no.
how hard it is,
Yeah, but
Maybe.
that's what everybody says. All the players say,
Yeah.
no, when you're playing well, you don't want to break. You want to keep playing, right? You want to keep playing because that's how you know you're getting better is by keep playing. And that's what, all the top players say. They don't want to break. But
Well, there's a
also,
difference between wanting a break and playing 90 minutes instead of 60, or playing getting a 60-minute break and playing 30 in a game to come in and, help your club get a goal or keep a
yeah, they
game
had the
versus.
whole week off though. It
But
wasn't
Pablo
it
is
wasn't a Tuesday, Saturday, Wednesday,
Well, it's not
Saturday
like
thing.
they're not at home drinking a Mai Tai, dude. They're still training. They're still, and also like Pablo's training is not casual. It's not like, hey, let's warm up. It's physical. I mean, how many injuries have we gotten this year just off of practice? You know what I
Well,
mean?
I think it in the past we've seen where Pablo, I think he did it to Rubio Rubin. He ran Rubio Rubin into the ground the first
Ran
season
him
he
to a loan.
uh, well, the first season he was here, he started out pretty good, and then just by the end of the season, um, so yeah. I mean, I don't, I think you're right. You want to keep playing, but at the same time, manage the minutes because it's a long season, and make it so you're fresh at the end of the season too. But anyway,
Well,
he's got time to
Think
get
about what he's
fresh. Four
done.
games.
well, and the other thing that's going on is we've got the transfer window coming up, right?
Yep.
Do you think this
That's right.
changes what their plan is, or they're going to keep it the same as they had before?
Well,
Well,
I think it goes to show how bad we need a second striker. I don't know that Julio really is the long-term answer there. Here and there, he'll play really well, which is a great bench player, right? That's what a bench player should do. Play really well here and there in spot duty. But it's almost like we need a center back and a striker and a midfielder. Like, that's a lot. That's a lot.
yeah, we could use a little bit more depth and rotation on players that can play quite a few minutes. Michael Chang comes in and bless his heart, he tries hard, but
Bless
having
his
a
heart.
player that's a little bit better than Michael Chang to come in and push for more minutes, that would be important. Um, I agree with you that we could definitely use a second striker. We could definitely use a center back, another center back at some point, whether this season or definitely in the start of next season, because I don't think that very and glad they could continue to be our starters, but we don't have a third or a fourth center back that um, you should
Yeah, Brody's
should
really
have.
our right back, and he's playing center back right now. And Bod,
You should have three starting quality center backs. That two of them that play a lot of the time, but one of them, one a third one that can come in and take minutes and be a guy that you can count on is almost as good, just as good.
yeah. So Thursday is the opening of the transfer window. We'll see what the club's all about if they're going after players. In the last three transfer windows, we've signed three players every time. So our ownership group is about getting after it so far, right?
Yeah.
That's been the show so far. So
And we can always start the James Rodriguez rumor again.
yeah, yeah, I heard that a couple times too. Hey, you know, if he can get him healthy, that's the real trick. So we'll see what his number is and what our number is, and we'll just push them across the table at the same time, right? We'll just be like, okay, push your number across the table and we'll push ours, and then we'll flip them and see what we think. How close are we? And then you'll sign somewhere else.
Well, it's kind of difficult because he hasn't been seen since the game when they've been scouring all the way through the duck system to see where he ended up. I think he was trying to get out through the duck system.
Yeah, and he couldn't find his way. He needs to talk to more of his compatriots there to find his way out. Oh man. But there were
And
some Argentine guys breaking through stuff too. It wasn't just the Colombian men.
no, and like I said, it's not. I've heard some people say, "Oh, that's just the culture from that part of the country where they like to, they just go to the game with no ticket and try to get in." It's like, you know what? It's
No, it's not
it's a
just that.
soccer thing. It's a sport thing. I think every sport has those kind of fans. Just gets the bad rap for having the most passionate and maybe there's so many of them, right?
Yeah,
There's so
well,
many
and Taylor
examples across
Twellman,
the world.
Taylor Twellman said that the staff was at about 50% of what they would do for a NFL game.
Yeah,
So
yeah. A
that's not
lot.
good.
CONMEBOL has a lot to answer for because they
Well,
were they were the ones that were in charge of the tournament.
how about Europe though? Europe had a final too.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that.
England played in it. What?
Yeah,
Your
the
favorite
Euro
country,
final.
Brant?
My second favorite country.
Oh,
Yes.
second favorite country. Okay, I wasn't sure. Just thought I'd put that out, see what happened.
Well, I guess you've got the United States, and then you got. I guess you could have one A. Your one A favorite favorite country, Canada. One A.
One, eh?
Would be one A.
One.
That was a bad joke.
Yeah. No,
So,
really. Yeah.
yeah, England made it
And
to the final.
Spain. Yeah.
They're second. They become the first European side, the first country to
Mm-hmm.
lose the Euro final twice in a row.
Oh man, really?
So,
Twice in a
yeah,
row.
they didn't make it home. It did not come home, and because of that, Gareth Southgate took his ball and went home.
Did he? He resigned?
Yeah, yeah, he resigned. He says time to move on. Just
Okay.
in time to come and play boring bear halter ball for the U.S.
Which Berhalter also got let go this week. I thought they should have done it right after the game, but in classic US soccer style, they took an extra week for no reason. Just
Well, they
long
had to
enough so
track
that
down Crocker. He was over at the Euros. They had to wait for the guy that runs the United States Soccer Federation to get back to the United States because he's never here, supposedly.
weird, huh? And then the guy that we all probably wish they would have hired, Jesse Marsh, takes Canada to the third place game, takes Uruguay down to the final seconds. They go ahead 2-1, and Uruguay nicks a goal at the very end and ties it up, and then they lose in penalties. So Canada basically took third, but took fourth in the Copa America. And
And I'll admit, I'm not a Jesse Marsh fan.
have you seen all the cool stuff though that happened in England over like when Cole Palmer scored? Have you seen some of those things?
Oh, I posted on our one of our stories where the video of the guy in his apartment, outside his apartment, and all of London erupts with cheers and honking when England scores.
Oh yeah, when Palmer took that one, he just smashed it into the corner. It kind of skipped across the ground and went in. And yeah, people are posting their stuff in London about how the whole city just went, whoa. Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty
it's
cool.
it's crazy. They love
That's a
their
cool
football.
post. You should go check it out, everybody. That's a good one. Good job, Brant.
So yeah, I was rooting for England, and I thought they were
Me too.
they were gonna have, and then they just shut off for a second, and Spain goes ahead and nicks a goal there at the end, and
Well, that's the thing. It's like almost like, okay, guys, now let's go for it. And then they go for it and they get a goal. And then they're like, all right, let's sit back.
Yeah, I think that's the
What? Stop
it's tough.
it.
It's tough to when that style's going good. Greg Berhalter had a similar style, right, where he's trying to play out of the back and control and play good defense. And England did the same thing. But yeah, in a lot of time that's the complaint. Instead of going forward and being on the front foot, they wait until they go down a goal and boom, they create stuff out of nothing. Of
Yeah.
course, they put in Ollie Watkins, was that his name? Cole
Yeah,
Palmer.
Watkins. Palmer.
And
They
I
did
think
good.
that's the knock on Southgate is he probably didn't have the guts to
Too much Harry Kane.
yeah, sadly. So yeah, but I was rooting for them.
Harry Kane sucks. I hate him.
Yeah, he's
You hate
done.
him because he scores goals on your teams, though.
No, I hate him because he is like so clutch in all the wrong ways. You know what I mean? Like
what do you mean?
he's
What does that mean?
so. Well, you think he goes to Bayern Munich, right?
It scores like
First season,
40 goals or something.
but it's still all
But
those
then
goals they don't matter. Like,
what?
do you know what I mean? Like he's like the guy that's like, oh, we need a filler. You know what I mean? Like he fills in stats, and he
He's the
doesn't
Karl
really.
Malone of
Oh,
English.
right. So he's like, oh, I got 5 goals against Mainz this year. Well, they got demoted, dude. Like, that's
Yeah,
not
do
that
you know what I mean?
impressive.
Like,
Like,
yeah,
why
his
didn't you
numbers are great.
score at all against Leipzig or Leverkusen?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like, and
Yeah.
to rely on him in the biggest stage
Anti-clutch.
is not for me. And I was hardcore England this entire tournament. Like I was like, I even went to the beach down at Jordanelle and was still watching the game. Like I was so invested.
Yeah, I watched
But
that game too, and Spain was good, and England was good, and just those little difference makers made a big difference, which kind of reminds me we should probably get back to the RSL game, right? Like,
Oh yeah,
we
that'll probably
lost
be good.
3-0. It sucked.
So
well,
Yeah.
the
what
reason,
you don't want to do is when you start a game is give up a goal early, like RSL pulled off against at the home game. Who was that against? Most recently,
Atlanta, where we
Atlanta. Yeah,
scored against
scored
Atlanta,
early.
yeah,
So you go in halftime, you have your pep talk, say, hey, you know what you don't want to do? We don't want to give up a goal early. And then you
yeah,
go out there and you go, what did Pablo say? Did he say give up a goal early? Because I think that's what I heard. And you give up a goal early in the second half. And so I don't know what were your thoughts on uh McMath? The first goal, I don't think it's on him. I mean, the guys in front of him kind of let him down. But the second goal, he kind of bobbled and dove when he dove to the left and bobbled the ball and it stayed in play when he could have, I don't know if maybe catch it, but then
yeah. But when in
Andrew
doubt, punch
Brody
it
didn't,
out,
yeah,
right?
Andrew
And then,
Brody didn't step up. He kind of let the guy get the shot off. And yeah, it was just not a good
yeah,
start to the second
again,
half.
like 3 things went wrong, right? Like it wasn't one thing. Like it's easy to point to a goal when somebody passes it out of the back and the guy just kicks it in, right? Easy. But when it's 3 or 4 things, it's like, that's just so ugly and painful, right? And the thing that really made me think like this Portland team's really got something is Eric Williamson. That guy was a dog all night. Everywhere we tried to attack, he would just shut it down. And he's like Diego Chara, but big. You know what I mean?
Chirag!
It's
Yeah,
dude. Come on.
I know. I'm gonna say it wrong the rest of my life, and I'm
Diego
okay with that.
Chirag.
Unless I meet him, then I'll change it.
Yeah, then
If
we'll
he
have to
ever,
talk about it.
as
Hey,
soon as
remember
he comes
I
on our
saw Diego
podcast,
Chara. He said, "Hey, remember when I was calling you Chara instead of Chara and or Chara instead of Chara? Remember that? Remember that,
remember that? That was awesome. That was awesome.
See, my brother.
But Eric Williamson, he's the key to that. I think MLS is so central midfield specific. The best center midfielder usually wins the game. And that's
Hmm.
why teams know this and they stack their center defensive mids, especially. And ours are still young. Ojeda and
Hmm.
Anelli, both pretty young, fairly inexperienced, but getting really good. And I think
Yeah.
as soon as they start playing at that like physicality of Williamson that he was bringing to this game, I kept looking up and I'm like, man, Williamson's beating us up left and right. And Diego Luna kept getting lost. And my most frustrating thing of the game, since we're on the what bothers Tyler soapbox, is that when we finally pulled all the people over to the Luna side of the field, and Crooks was over there, and Arango was over there, and Ojeda and O'Nelly were over there. I just called him O'Nelly. But they're all on the one side of the field, and Gomez is hanging out on the right, and we switch it over to him, and he's got a one-on-one with Claudio Bravo, who's sitting on a yellow card. He just turns and passes it back to Brody. And I'm like, what? No, dude, we worked all game for this setup to get the ball switched over to you and have Bravo sitting there with no defenders behind him. And you didn't even take him on. And then Pablo subbed him next. The very next stoppage in play, he got subbed out. And I was like, he deserves it. He should have taken him on right then. And it was just like he did that 3 different times where it was just him and one guy. And that's the beauty of who you are, Andres. Andale, right? Hit it, bro. Let's do this. And he just didn't even do it. He just turned and passed it back to Anelli, turned and passed it back to Brody. And then we cycled it all the way around again. And I'm like, no, that's I mean, obviously that's one of the reasons why things didn't go for us very well. The turf, things like this suck. But in the end, there were multiple times when we could have had better chances and we just didn't go for it. I've been watching the Gold Lasso podcast where Clint Dempsey's on there, right? And he's
Are
always
you
talking
cheating on
about,
us? Don't be cheating
well,
on us, man. I mean,
I'm
I'm
big
not.
timing us. I'm trying to
Oh,
trying to make
okay.
us the Clint Dempsey podcast, right? But
Yeah.
none of us played at that level, right?
We probably have enough kids.
Yeah,
Is it-
between us all, yeah, yeah, yeah. There we go.
to,
We can
to
get there,
catch up to Clint. Does he got like
right?
6 or 8?
Yeah, got a
Remember they were
bunch.
teasing him one time, and they know how they know what causes that now.
But you get back to that. You need a difference maker. You need someone who's brave enough to go for it, to dribble into the box and rip a shot. Because how else are you going to score if you do not do that, right? So we were not brave. We were not attacking with the normal fervor that we do. I don't know if it was the bounce of the ball and the stupid turf or a myriad of other things that it could have been. But in the end, like they beat us for effort. They beat us for skill. They beat us for technical ability. They beat us in every facet of the game. So I get why Arango might have been a little bit upset, but that's not the time to do it, right? That's not the time to get upset. It's time to look inside, find your inner peace, commune with Pablo, and figure out what on the inside needs to come out for your inner joy to overtake the rest of your life.
Well, we did beat them in the possession game. We had 56.5%, but they kind of dominated in shots. They had 20, we had 11. Only got
Yeah,
3
but we
shots
also
on goal.
dominated in useless possession. That was like 10
Yeah,
minutes of useless possession.
that should be a
Vera
stat
to
on here. I don't see
Hidalgo,
it, but
Hidalgo to Vera. Oh.
and
Catrana's so far up the field, Mosquera's guarding him. Like, so dumb. Anyway, go ahead. What were the other stats?
well, let's see here. Red cards, we both had 0. We had
Okay.
5 yellow cards. They had 4.
And
I don't
all
see
five
this.
of our starting attacking players got yellow cards.
And
Luna, Arango, Crooks, Gomez,
and
and
yeah,
Ojeda.
so their whole team basically gets fined for mass confrontation, and they only have 4 yellows. That's the
Well,
kind of stuff that just
their
drives
whole
me
left
insane.
side, their whole left side, Bravo, Chara, Rodriguez, and then their striker Mora.
And
So
somehow we had 21 fouls and they had 11. No.
yeah, we were kicky. We were kicky for sure. Like we
But
didn't
that's like I said, they get
weren't
away
clean.
with more of that kind of stuff than a lot of teams, but that's how they play, and that's, kudos to them. People, kind of like the Peter Vermees, like Kansas City, they that's how you play. You get the benefit of the doubt. So, and also, RSL, they're on top of the league, so now they're no longer underdogs. People are circling the game and they're saying, "Hey, let's go get these guys. They don't deserve to be on top, and we're going to show them." So RSL's got a lot to prove uh, through the rest of the season if they want to win and be in contention for the MLS Cup. But in the last
Yeah.
podcast, we were thinking, "Hey, if they win these next 3 games, then they're going to be top of the West." But my, how the tables have turned.
Well, in LAFC are in first, but us, them, and the other LA, the Galaxy, are all tied on 43 points. But LAFC has played 22 games. We've played 23, and Galaxy have played 24. So we play LAFC midweek at their place where we historically have done horrible. Chicho was the difference last time. That's one of my favorite goals of all time. That crazy cool quick cross, and then Chicho heads it, and his hair just like whips, like so good. Like Jada Pinkett Smith would have like loved to whip her hair back and forth like that
And the Nene was the best part, right?
after he whipped. Is
And
that
then
how that works, Brennan? I don't know how this works. I'm too
Yeah,
old
you're
to
you're
whip
nailing
and
it
nene.
right on the head.
Okay.
Right on the head.
And Jada Pinkett Smith? No, that's the mom.
is your
Dang it.
kid.
Which is the kid? What's the kid's name? Jaden Smith? No,
That's the son. There's a
that's the
daughter in there
Karate Kid.
somewhere.
Yeah, it's the
Willow. Her
daughter.
name is
Yeah.
Willow.
There it
Yeah.
is.
We should
Willow whips her
we
hair
should
back
be
and
up
forth.
on our
I'm
former pop stars.
so bad at yeah.
Former pop stars? She's still a pop star. She's still
Oh,
there.
okay.
Just
That's
watch
right.
out.
I'm not pop culture-esque. Anyway, uh I was like, dude, Portland's like eighth, but then my buddy was like, dude, they're fifth. I'm like, oh, yeah, they are fifth.
And
They are kind of on a surge, so they're still
Evander's
surging.
kind of turned that team around. I don't think he was there to start the season, and he's
He's
kind
a
of
hothead though, man. You can get under his skin pretty easy. And I was hoping that Chicho would start playing mind games with him, and instead he kind of lost his mind. So I guess we'll see how this plays out, but not great. Not great for sure.
so yeah, not excuse me. We've got LAFC on Wednesday and then Colorado on Saturday.
Yep.
And the game against LAFC, we're not going to have Gomez and Chicho. So what's going to happen there? Anderson,
And Gozo. We
Matthew
won't have
Bell,
Gozo.
I
Iskandarian.
hope for Gozo. Let's hope for Gozo.
Is he gone with the U20s?
I think so,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, I think he is.
Yeah, he got called in, which is great.
Where's
Good for the
where's
kid.
Jacqueline? Jacqueline should be there, no?
Oui.
We'll have to
What
see. Some of those players, I think they're with the
Monarchs?
Monarchs, and maybe I think you can play 2 games, something like that.
Yeah, without having a full contract.
That's why our boy Caliskin
Yep, got
signed a
signed.
contract. So
Yeah.
it'll be interesting. I did see that Justin Glad hopped on a plane to LAFC.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
It's
I don't
pretty
know
cool.
if it's just because he wanted to get away or but he was with the team, so I guess that's a good sign. Maybe he'll start that. We could use a good starting pair of center backs for a change. It's been way too long. But I'm really curious to see what they're going to do. How they're going to who else was Bouanga not playing?
Yeah, so if you watch the end of the LAFC game, they kind of got into a tussle with Columbus. There were a couple guys at the end of the Columbus game, which Columbus worked them 5-1. And so at the end of the game, a couple of the LAFC guys were kind of getting after the Columbus guys, and the little 11 guy, I forgot his name. It's like Wichkibatsky. I don't know, something super long and cool. But he was like dribbling around and kind of showing off and showboating in front of the LA crowd, and a couple guys didn't like that on LAFC, so they kind of went after him. And then in like the 90th minute, they tossed him out because he got up because somebody went in hard on him, tackled him real good. I think number 4 playing right back. He was asking for a red. And then he kind of elbowed him in the back. So when you feel that extra elbow coming in, you kind of fall and put your cleats out. So hopefully they land on him, right? Like, I mean, everybody's done it, but he kind of kicked out a little bit. And then, everybody kind of rushed in, and a couple red cards later, they're without, what's their big Ecuadorian guy? Who was it? Oh, Palencia. Is that right? Oh, no, he got red carded in the 83rd minute. And then in extra time, they added out a couple of extra reds. So, although it's not on the official MLS page, maybe they rescinded them. But yeah, so interesting though how that all kind of played out. I watched the end of that game after the Real game because Columbus has always kind of been my Eastern Conference team. I know you don't usually do that in MLS, but hey, the Crew
We'll give
original
you a pass
founding.
because they were around before RSL.
Yeah. Yeah. And then yeah, Murillo. Yeah, that's who it is.
I was
Murillo
a DC
got
United
tossed.
fan before Real Salt Lake came around. I liked United. I like Marcos Echevarri, El Diablo.
El Diablo.
Mm.
Yeah, and good thing we're not playing Columbus right now because they're playing really well. Yeah.
So hopefully we'll see him in the final. So 2 big games, LAFC on Wednesday, and then not a great time to be going in for the final game of the Rocky Mountain Cup this year.
Yep. Next Saturday we'll get our yellow card accumulation guys back, but
And we'll
Chicho
probably
still won't
lose
be
the
back.
late yellow cards. I think no, it was Vera.
No,
Somebody else
Vera
is
didn't get one in this game, so he's
no, there's still somebody on. There's a couple players
a
on
couple on warning.
warning for this game, so I don't know if they could get wiped off. We'll have to look it up.
Yeah, what's up next? Lots of confrontations with the ref. Hopefully we don't massively confront the ref, just minorly confront the ref, right?
Caution warnings, Emeka Anelli, Alex Catranis. Thank you, Caleb Turner from KSL. You had that on Twitter today. On X. So, are we done with that game from America's Armpit?
Did we cover everything? I
From
mean,
Portland? We could probably do a palate cleanser and jump right into the Come On Crawley update.
sounds good.
I don't.
Woohoo! Do it.
They got their new
Yay.
Talk
kits.
about it. Yeah.
What? You don't want to talk about it?
They
I
got new
would love
kits.
to talk about it.
Well, let me see.
They got promoted. Are they going black like Wrexham?
Oh, I didn't even look at that new one. Oops. I need to do that
Let me
real quick.
see.
Did
Sorry,
you
guys.
see the new Wrexham black kit? I don't even know.
Can you see this? Here's the
Ring
there's
That's the red.
That's the
soul
red.
kill.
And then
Looks red with red on it.
well, it's pretty cool
Mhm.
because it has the devil's little pitchfork on it.
That's cool.
And they had a game today where they beat Lose something 2-0 with some trials, but they have the blue and the white, and
Devil
they
and
look really good.
Angel.
So there they go.
Oh, there we go. I like the
The
white.
blue and the white. You can see
The
the
white
little
with the
it's on
gray
the
pitchfork in there.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it looks really good, but yeah, see.
Who's their sponsor?
I,
Rent to Kill?
Yeah.
Rent to Kill?
I
Is that
don't know.
right?
It's
Rent to
probably
Kill
Rentokil.
initial.
It's probably Rentokil Initial.
Right. Sure, it's Rentokil.
It's rent to kill. Yeah, we don't like the people that rent from us. But I wanted to show you they won today 2-0. But look at the kits in blue.
ooh.
Blue with
See now,
black.
if it was a white short, that would be really clean. I would really like that. But it matches really well.
Yeah, so we had they had a couple of trialists and they had two different 11s for each half, and we won 2-0 over Lose. I imagine that's how you say it. FC. And there's the coach, Scott Lindsay. So thought you might want to see those kits. So we're getting back into the that was the first pregame. They've got another preseason game against Crystal Palace coming up. So and they've brought
Nice.
in some players. We'll see. I think they've stopped the bleeding. They haven't let a player go in the last week or two, so that's nice. But
Well, and oh, sorry, are you done with the Crawley update?
um, yeah, I can be, but we'll get going. That's first
No, I
preseason.
was just gonna say it was a topsy-turvy event all weekend long in MLS. The Galaxy lost to Dallas, which good for Dallas. They came up and popped them. Um, DC beat Nashville 2-1. Cincinnati lost to I always want to call them Columbus, but they're the other Queen City. They should have a Queen City like derby there for Charlotte and
Queen City
Cincinnati,
Clash.
right? Something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, Montreal beat Atlanta 1-0. Orlando 3-1 over New England. Toronto beat Philly. It was an upside down week across the board almost. Seattle beat Houston's green brother. Sorry, Austin. Uh, and then St. Louis lost 4-1. Krylock did not score.
He got in a 90 plus 3, though. 90 plus 3 in a
Houston,
4-0, 4-1
yeah,
lead, right? From
yeah.
Vancouver. He got in.
Houston, Minnesota 1-1. Colorado, Red Bull 1-1. We lost 3-0. Columbus beat LAFC 5-1. And the dregs of society both played San Jose and Sporting KC, and KC won 2-1.
Oh,
So there's the
yeah,
full
it'd
update
be
for the
nice
week.
if, Demir Krylock, he could be a time wasting sub here just as much, just as well as
Right?
a time wasting sub in Vancouver.
Yeah. And now with
Mhm.
that win, Kansas City have taken over 12th place in the league table of the West, jumping over the St. Louis pink shirted Purina Eaters.
Man, yeah, they're having a season like almost every other expansion season team has
Yeah, I
after they
know.
come in.
Isn't
Some
that
of them
great?
like
It's kind of funny.
LAFC, Seattle, some of them had to wait a little bit, but Seattle went a long time before they had a bad season. But it's fun to see the over cocky fans come in. Oh, we're gonna take over MLS. Maybe next year. There's always next year. So, but the funniest thing, what do you think the funniest thing in American football was, American soccer this week?
Well, the saddest thing was Messi's ankle.
Oh
So
no.
tell me
All right.
something fun.
All right, what do you think the funniest thing? Nothing made me laugh harder than this. I'll give you a guess. And it had to deal with the men's national team.
That Berhalter got let go?
No, no, not that.
Just
I'll
go
tell
ahead
What?
and tell us.
the people that are really concerned that the U.S. men's national team is going to tap Steve Cherundolo to be the next U.S. men's national team coach.
Oh boy.
The LAFC
With
goes, oh, then we're gonna lose. We're gonna lose Dolo. I says, you're not losing the
Nobody,
flow.
no, he's not ready for that. Although he is one of the few coaches that is succeeding with having played internationally. He was a good international player, and he held down right back for the U.S. for I think a decade, right? Like it was a long time. But as a coach, he's still pretty green. I think he's only been a head coach for 2 years.
Two, this might be his
Yeah,
third season.
right. So it's
And it's at LAFC.
yeah,
How can you
don't
not
no,
have
please
success
no.
with those kind of resources?
Please don't make that guy.
One,
We
I think
need
it was a
an
guy.
experienced coach. That's what we need. But no, I did see you light him up on X about
Eric
that.
from one of their podcasts is like, come
Yeah.
on, man, come. He was saying that Steve Tarundolo has LAFC punching above their weight. It's like,
They're
what?
in first place, bro.
They're punching
Oh,
above their weight.
but
Come
they don't have they're still two DPs light. That's what their
we only got one DP.
argument was. Yeah, okay.
Okay, yeah, we feel bad for you. Yeah, you're definitely punching above your weight. Yeah,
Well, if you
you're
compare
just a
them to the
scrappy bunch
Galaxy,
of
right?
no names out there.
Right, no names. So we'll see. They'll get somebody. They'll go sign two DPs, and they'll both be horrible and bad in the locker room, and they'll tumble
Olivier
from
Giroud.
first place down to 10th or something.
Well,
Yeah,
what's his
Giroud
name? They
will
signed
be so
Olivier
bad.
Giroud, and they're still punching above their weight now. We only have
Yeah, he's
two.
horrible.
So yeah, I thought that was the most hilarious thing I heard all week.
That
Steve
was pretty funny.
Cherundolo, U.S. men's national team. That's not
Yeah,
even step. That's not even a lateral move.
yeah, not good. Don't do it. Please no.
No. And we could have had Bielsa. They turned Bielsa down because he spoke Spanish. Didn't speak very. They were worried that there would be a language barrier, so they didn't have Bielsa.
¿En serio? Porque no se sabe Oh my gosh, dude. Like half, three-quarters of the team already speak Spanish. I don't know what the deal. Anyway, I'll stop. Maybe Jurgen Klopp will come in and teach us
No,
German
he
again.
already said no. He's taking a break.
Uh-huh,
he's out.
sure. Well,
So
Jesse Marsh should have been the coach, but he's in Canada.
no.
May he
Well,
rest in peace.
I like I said, I'm not a huge Jesse Marsh fan because he usually gets off to a good start. He's shown that he can get off to a good start, but
Can he
it's hard to
maintain?
maintain it. So I would like to see him uh, get more of a resume behind him and be a little more consistent because it's what happened at the Red Bull. And then when he went to Red Bull Salzburg, whatever it was over there, he started out quick and then couldn't maintain it. And it Leeds United, right?
No, so he did well at Salzburg, and they promoted him over to Leipzig. And then at Leipzig, he started out well and then faded. And then
Yeah.
they hired him over at Leeds, and he started off good and then started to slide down the table a little bit, and they didn't have any patience for the American. They're
Yeah.
like, get him out. Oh, wait, that's what you say in Canada. Never mind. Gotta get my accents right again, man.
Yeah, you got to work on that. So, anything else for this week? Any thoughts on the two games coming up? My wife and I are planning on getting away and trying to get over to the game in Colorado. We'll see how it goes. That's the plan anyway.
There's a big mountain range in the way. Hope you travel early and often.
Watch out for herbs.
Herbs.
Every herb is dangerous now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. She might be dangerous if we get her too herbed up.
Too many herb
We could go
ups.
crazy. So I think
Yeah.
it'd be really interesting to see. I think if we can just get through these two games without getting more injuries and getting slaughtered, and maybe it's time for be settled for a couple of moral victories. If we can at least
Well,
keep the Rocky Mountain Cup, I think that'd be great.
well, and I think with these two games, especially because after that we have the Quakes, we have New England, and those are both at home late August. But um, if we can really hit these two games and do it without Chicho, and we get other players to step up and we play well, I think that's gonna kind of help save our season. And hate to say that because we've actually had such a great season so far. We've probably already made the playoffs. Like usually 43 points is enough to make the playoffs, and there's still a long ways to go. The season doesn't end till October 19th, right? So to have 43 points this far into the season is awesome, but we kind of need to get back to what made us good as a team from the ground up. And with Chicho out for 4 games, I sure hope we can maintain that.
Yeah, get back to that underdog, which they seem to excel at, and give these guys some motivation to prove that they can be on the team. I think Palacio was pushing for minutes. And I think we talk about. I would love to see him bring in. Uh, how good would an Everton be on this team to work with Ojeda and Anelli? Having a veteran uh, with some bite in the midfield. So we'll see how the transfer window goes too. See if they started with a bang. Last few times though, they had already announced they were bringing in players, so maybe they're just keeping it under wraps.
Well,
Or
and they've gone pretty young almost all the time. The only one that's not really young are Crooks and Chicho. So other than that, they've gone with youth, which has been great because that's a lot of the core of our team now.
well, they've been kind of distracted too, so hopefully they don't bring in a hockey player. That would be a mistake.
Right. And then be like, whoops, you can't do that during a soccer game. No punching in
Nope.
the face.
We have to wait for it to snow. Then they'd be really successful.
Yep.
So, all right. Anything else? We want to say thank you for listening. We should say it more often. Please follow us, subscribe on our YouTube channel, our GoalsTV channel. Follow us on Instagram and wherever you get your social media. We're even on TikTok. We don't do much there.
What?
Yeah,
Crazy.
yeah. I'm learning.
That's
I've
on
learned
TikTok.
Chinese, just in case. But right. I did post one clip on TikTok, but haven't really. But we're there. We got a placeholder anyway.
Nice.
So yeah, follow us on all those social media. We really appreciate it. And if you have anything nice to say, don't. Brendan wants to hear the bad stuff. Right?
Exactly. Come on, tell me how you really feel.
Thank you for listening. We'll see you next week.